We're live in Eversberg here for this international under-20 friendly between Germany and Switzerland this afternoon. The first of a couple of tune-up games for Germany before they head down to South Korea and the under-20 World Cup. Well, it's an exciting time for many of these German players here. The coach strikes me as stressed that they haven't chosen the squad yet, so there's still plenty of opportunity for those on the fringes to make their way into this World Cup squad. Stuart Robson is alongside me. Many of these players, Stuart, we've seen over the course of the last 12 months playing for the under-19s, where they squeaked through in that playoff against the Dutch. But it's a talented side.
They were disappointing at the European Championship. They went in there as one of the favourites. They only came third in their group, but they're playing with a different system. Three at the back. Going to play with two wing-backs, two holding midfield players, with a front three of Ox, Rees and Mittelstadt up front.
Just talking about the Swiss for a moment, it's not that long ago when we saw the generation of Ricardo Rodriguez come through for the Swiss with the under-17s, where they went on to win the World Cup. They've not really been able to continue that level of success. Always going to be very difficult, but there's never really a time that goes by where they don't produce one or two very talented players.
Well, they've had one or two very talented players every couple of years. We're struggling to find that really talented player in this side. Grigic and Haas in midfield will probably be some of the key players. And look out for Sau, who's playing just in behind Oberlin in the number 10 position.
Well, according to the coach, there are no star players in this team. The strength is the team ethic, which is not a bad thing.
But you also want to produce some outstanding individuals. That's what's going to go and play in the national team. He's been a little bit critical of their ability in the top third of the field. He said he's going to try one or two things in this game. Different players, different formats, different ways of playing when they get it into the top third. That's where they need to improve. In midfield, he says they're strong. And although he's playing with a back three, slightly different to what we saw at the European Championships. Yeah,
is this a change in focus right the way through the national teams? I mean, we saw Germany playing England last night. There seems to be this move toward three at the back. I mean, it was something that wasn't even contemplated, it seems, until all of a sudden Conte turned Chelsea into a Premier League winning team with this subtle change, and now everybody's doing it.
Well, that's the way football goes. When somebody seems to be having great success with a formation, everybody else follows it. It was Jose Mourinho with Chelsea and Porto before that, when he played with a front three, which we hadn't seen in England before. Everybody played with two up front. You're always looking for that little bit of innovation rather than the followers.
Well, there's Hefty and Jakobsen closing him down quickly.
It's always important when you are playing with three at the back that your wing-backs can get high up the field. They can get crosses into the box. They're the out ball. Whenever the ball's on the other side of the field, Schad and Jakobsen are those two wing-backs for Germany.
Looking for Oderlin, but good take from Reimann. Germany, it seems, has this never-ending production line, which drops some quality goalkeepers, it seems, in every age group. Is Gimba.
Left-footed player, playing as the left-sided of three centre-backs. He has got a good pass on him as well. He hit the big diagonals out to Schad when he can.
Rees is the furthest forward for Germany. Ox, who can take up a multitude of positions along the line of three up front. There he is, Ox with the ball, looking to pick out Rees. Jakobsen going on the overlap here. Mittelstadt getting up in advance to offer support as well. Didn't make the most of it there, Jakobsen. And bringing it away is Sau.
He's the player that's going to try and link everything up, Sau, the number 10. So playing in behind the main striker, Oberlin. Taser will be down the left-hand side. Vieira, the number 7, down the right for the Swiss. And that's what it does enable you to do when you are playing with the back three. If they're only playing with one up front, means your wide centre-halves can come out and play, get high up the field, and then be rolling balls into the front areas.
Through by Grigic. Very lively in these opening exchanges over that.
There's the middle of the three centre-backs. Mühl.
So it's quite amusing sometimes when you look at the squads of 30-odd players that they've got lined up. Here's Oliveira. And just doesn't quite have the legs, guided beyond by Mühl. And you look down, and what is a glaring omission is the fact that there is not one player out of the list of it. In fact, there's probably about 39 players, not one of them from Bayern Munich.
Well, they don't have to develop players. They can go and buy who they want. In Germany, anybody that plays well for another team becomes a Bayern target.
This is Ananu. Jad was outside him. Haas with the interception.
I say it's also difficult to get into the Bayern first team if you're a youngster there.
Neatly done by Ox. Lovely little touch then, back into the path then of Jada.
He's a dynamic midfield player, Serdar, driving forward. Holds off the challenge of Reiner. Eventually gets back and gets the block in.
Now a chance here for Gimba and Mühl to get forward. Cast your minds back to a year ago. Mühl was certainly a threat from set plays. Ox will bend this in towards the near post. There's the little flick, goes beyond towards Ananu. Look at the grab being eaten up there by Oberland. Tell you, Jakobsen had 3 meters on him, but that seemed to disappear within about 5 strides.
Well, I think he was worried about his pace there. Jakobsen, he had a little look at the goalkeeper to see whether he was coming out and dealing with it, but he just had to get on with it.
There's Gimba. Mittelstadt is there to help out. Hefty.
Here's the centre forward, Visa.
Reimann watching patiently, didn't seem to be that stressed, but that was bearing down on him. There's Kutesa. Reiner.
Quite sure what pass he was looking for there, the left back, but Haas and Grigic in that midfield, they try and run the game.
It's 8 years now since Switzerland won that under-17 World Championships, where they surprised everybody, including Mexico and Brazil, Japan, Italy. Seferovic was the player of the moment back then. This is Matic, who went on to a reasonable level of success. Play you know well enough. 5 here is Gimba. Oberland looks really, really in the mood here, doesn't he, to cause some problems for Mühl.
Well, he's going to have to do a lot of chasing it. He's playing up front almost by himself. Yes, Sal will go and support him when he can, but they're trying to knock balls into the channels. He's going to be up against 3 centre-halves at times. He's going to have a lot of work on his hands, the centre-forward, Oberland.
Good pressure again from Germany, forcing the early ball and the ball out of play.
Oh, as it was with the forward pass, he actually made the right decision not to go to the fullback. It was being closed down. Just needed to bend it into the front rather than in the space. Actually had a fairly comfortable ball into the front players there.
There goes Ananu, looking for Shad. Closed down by Kutesa. There's Mühl. Reiner from Bielefeld.
Oh, that's a strong challenge.
Yeah, it is a very strong challenge. The referee might want to have a word. He has straight yellow card then. And Gimba going to have to be on better behaviour than that now for the next.
Well, he overruns the ball.
Minutes.
He starts to come out with the ball as you want your centre-half to do, but he doesn't read the situation. He's got his head down. He overruns the ball and then, desperate to win it back and not be passed around, goes in with his stud showing. I would say many years ago, nobody would have said too much about the challenge, but now that's regarded as reckless, out of control.
8 minutes in here, and already a very competitive feel to this game. Remember, they meet twice in the space of about 5 days, Germany and Switzerland. These being the last 2 games Germany have as warm-ups for that Under-20 World Cup.
Certainly isn't one of their stronger Under-20 sides they've sent to a World Cup.
Well, the thing is, down the years, we're used to seeing the full German national team competing on a level playing field with the top nations in the world, but they rarely, if ever, impress in an Under-20 World Cup. And there's a smile just crept across the face of Stuart Robson because he knows what I'm going to say next, don't you?
I always know what you're going to say.
Yeah, and that is the fact that you know all about them the last time they won, because you were actually in the England squad.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, 1981. It was the first time that, as they were called then, West Germany, they'd got to the FIFA World Cup, as it was called, Under-20s, or Youth as it was called then, and they went on to beat Qatar in the final by 4-0.
Yeah, but as a unified nation, they have never made the final. 1987, the last time. As Moser in charge of developing a new generation of talent for the Swiss.
We've seen a lot at different levels of the youth age groups for Switzerland. Very respected coach.
And Anu is waiting in there, but that should very nearly drop underneath the bar. And good piece of goalkeeping in the end from Matic. He had to watch that, realised it wasn't going to go over the bar, and a fingertip onto it. In fact, I don't even think he got that, did he?
Well, I normally always agree with you, Tim, but I thought this was a poor bit of goalkeeping. Looked very decisive. He's got to get more height on his jump.
Well, there's a wake-up call for Matic. Reese moving in towards the near post, looking for a flick on there as well, and getting his head to that was Mühl.
Brand new British Superbikes gets underway